Okay, today in this video we're going to preview compound inequalities, which just means we have more than one. Kind of like a compound word is two words put together. Same thing with a compound inequality. If you do have different colors, I would highly encourage you to use different colors just to help a visual aspect. So we're going to use a graph to represent the test scores described in each situation. So for A, scores greater than 80 and less than 100%. Okay, so if I want to write an inequality, the first thing, I'm going to say X is our test scores. So greater than 80 and less than 100. So I want my test scores to be less than 100. Now, because it's an and, we want both of these inequalities to be true. So we're trying to figure out what values will make both inequalities true. So when we graph it, we're going to have an open circle on 80 because this is not equal to. And if I'm only graphing this inequality, which we've already done, I'm looking at greater than values. Notice that I'm shading above. Then I'm going to switch colors. If I look at X is less than 100, I'm going to make my open circle at 100 still because it's still not equal to. And if I were to only shade numbers less than 100, I would shade all the way to the left. Now, because it's an and inequality, we're looking for what's called the intersection, meaning where's the intersection of our two colors or our two solution sets for the inequalities. If I look, they intersect right here, so that's where I'll actually shade on my graph. So, and we're looking for what's called the intersection. Where are the intersection of those colors, of those two inequalities? We could have also written this a different way. We could have said 80 is less than X, which is the same thing. It's just our variables on the right-hand side, and less than 100. So these two actually mean the exact same thing. Okay. For my next one, score is greater than 80%. So that's actually staying the same. But now the only difference is we're saying or. Less than 100. Okay. So I'm going to graph 80 again. Greater than 80 is everything to the right. Less than 100, so still open circle because it can't be included. Okay. The only difference now is I'm looking for values that are greater than 80 or less than 100. We actually can call that a union, meaning wherever I have any colors is where I can shade. If I think about my scores greater than 80 or less than 100, that includes all the numbers over here because these are all less than 100. And it actually continues because these numbers are all greater than 80. So it actually ends up being all real numbers. Every score you have is greater than 80 or less than 100. Okay. Score is greater than 90 and less than 70. So there's an and, so we're going to be looking for the intersection of those two. Greater than 90, less than 70. So if I graph open circle still, my greater than values are to the right. For less than 70, I'm going to shade less than. Because it says and, I'm looking for where are both of these inequalities true. So we're looking for the intersection. If I look, these are never intersecting.